Political analyst din. Siya po ang direktor ng Local Government Development Institute. Magandang umaga po,
Morning
Dr.
po.
Kalilong, si Xander po ito at si Angel.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Sander. Good morning, Angel. At good morning din po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay. Thank you for having me again.
Opo. Sir, ano po yung masasabi po ninyo dahil dito muna tayo kay Pangulong Marcos, ano? Sunod-sunod po yung, kung di ako nagkakamali, 3 na yung inihaing impeachment complaint laban po sa ating Pangulo.
Yes, actually, this is something that we actually expected given the gravity tsaka yung magnitude nga nitong ating flood control scandal, and at the same time naging maliwanag, no, sa mata ng ating mga kababayan na medyo hindi talaga naging decisive yung Pangulo sa pagsawata dito sa issue na to. At the same time, yung kanyang involvement talaga dito sa flood control scandal is something na hindi naman din talaga masyado naging klaro at this point in time, no. So yung mga investigation hindi naging maliwanag. At the same time, when you look at the economy, it's in a disarray at the moment. Inflation is very high, unemployment is also very high, peso dollar exchange rate is very erratic, and a lot of problems actually. So I think all of these things created the necessary impetus para talaga mag-file tayo ng impeachment complaint against him. And I think in the coming days, no, as the Congress resumes session on Monday, we expect na baka may mga ilan pa na susunod na magpa-file ng impeachment.
Opo. Babalik rin ko lang po yung point of view, Professor Kalilong. Hindi ho kaya yung ibang nag-file ay panggulo lang para po mabasura? Kasi kung kagaya nung nangyari last year po kay VP Sara Duterte, ang dami nag-file, kaya po tuloy na na hindi po na-actionan forthwith at na-archive.
Yeah. Actually, kung titingnan natin, parte yan talaga nitong ating political process, lalong-lalo na sa pagpa-file ng impeachment. In most cases nga, no, yung mga winning coalitions, they normally do 3 things, no. They control the tempo, they control the terrain, and then they control the choke points. Kung makikita natin dito sa playbook na ginagawa nitong administration, no, if it is really true na yung unang impeachment complaint na na-file is technically a very weak one, and I think it is really weak. It may create a very important problem for the other people who will be filing impeachment complaints, kasi nga tinanggap ito nung Secretary General ng Congress. In short, pwede siyang ma-endorse sa Justice Committee, and if it will be endorsed, maaari na yung mga susunod na impeachment complaints, no, papasok na dun sa 1-year bar rule. And even if they are more, sabihin na natin, complete in form and substance, hindi na yung titignan, kasi ang inuuna rito kasi is the procedural context and not the substantial merit ng kaso. So yun ang nagiging problema natin dito ngayon sa pag-file. Kagaya kahapon, may mga grupo na gustong mag-file, hindi tinanggap simply because Cheloy Garafil is, I think, abroad. These things, no? Kasi ministerial to eh. What they would just simply do is to accept it and then transmit it, no? Pero madaling gawin actually, no, kung tutuusin. Pero kapag ginagamit natin itong mga systems choke points, ika nga, no, para talaga i-maneuver yung sistema, problematic talaga to para lalo sa ating demokrasya.
Pero sa tingin ninyo, Dr. Froilan, sakasakali may chance bang umusa ditong impeachment, lalo na mayorya ng mga ating nasa Kongreso ay kaalyado po ng administrasyon?
Well, at the end of the day po kasi, no, an impeachment will always be a political numbers game. Let's face that. The thing here, dito natin makikita, no, kung solido pa rin ba yung bloke ni Martin Romualdez at kung meron talagang clout sa lower house itong si Sandro Marcos. Although kung titignan naman natin kasi medyo ang mga dynamics kasi nitong taon na to is totally different from what it was last year. Because last year I think they're very strong, no doubt, but right now with the the trust and popularity rating of the president really going down, and he is already entering the lean back phase of his presidency, some congressmen may actually be thinking already of jumping ship. No? Kasi let's face it, 2028 is 2026. Ang labanan ng 2028, ngayon yan magsisimula. So I think many of our congressmen are already recalibrating their positions and calculating their decisions moving forward. Pero I think no, malakas pa rin naman yung control ni BBM dito sa lower house. But then again, kasi an impeachment, when we try to look at it from a political perspective, it may not proceed legally, pero may political dent yan, may political effect yan sa kahit na sino. It weakens the political capital kasi kapag na-filean ka ng impeachment complaint, ibig sabihin meron kang pagkakadawit sa isang illegal or impeachable offense. So nakakapanghina siya, makakapanghina, at kung mahina na nga yung popularity at trust rating ng Pangulo ngayon, mas lalo pa nitong papahinain because of this impeachment.
Opo. Ganyan din ho ba ang basa po ninyo dun sa possible na impeachment complaint on February kay Vice President Sara Duterte and yung dalawang plunder charges po niya ngayon?
Medyo hindi po ganun, although the political implication may be there, pero the problem kasi with Sara is that her popularity and trust rating is not as fluctuating downward as compared to BBM. That's a big difference. Secondly, yung kasing allegations kay VP Sara, some of which were already decided upon before by the COA. Especially kung ang ihahain nila ngayon is just the confidential funds. I think medyo hindi ganun nakalakas. Primarily because this is just a rehashed version of a complaint that was already filed last year. Now, the congressmen that will be signing this petition for the impeachment of the vice president may also be thinking twice, kasi nga last year iba yung incentives to actually sign the petition, lalong-lalo na nandyan si House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ngayon kasi the leadership is different, the dynamics is already different, and then you're presenting a similar case. So I think the congressmen also have seen na may firepower talaga si Sara, dahil nung nag-endorso siya ng mga kandidato nung 2025 elections, majority of them won. And then yung mga inendorso naman ni BBM, many of them actually didn't make it. So yun, contrasting realities. Siyempre yung mga congressmen, especially those that are running for re-election, they're also thinking of their political future. If they're going to sign this petition against Sara, and she is a presidential frontrunner in 2028, at hindi naman mag-prosper itong impeachment, maaaring sila yung maapektuhan nito later on.
Opo, yun nga po sana yung follow-up question ko po, although nasagot nyo na po, yung mga congressmen, i-endorse ba nila tong impeachment versus VP Sara, baka may possibility na tumalun po sila habang papalapit po ang 2028.
Yes, that's true. Kasi nga, alam naman natin ang politika dito sa ating bansa, kung familiar kayo doon sa laro na the boat is sinking. Diba? Ganun ang idea niyan. So, primarily, itong mga tao na to, kung sino talaga yung malakas, lalong-lalo na, itong most likely by next year, all eyes and ears is already for 2028. So, titignan natin kung bababa papatuloy yung popularity ni President Marcos, which I think that trend may continue. Given the fact na wala naman talagang bagong nangyayari sa investigations at wala rin namang magandang nangyayari sa ating economy as whole. So talaga expected yon. Now, itong kay VP Sara, maaaring expected natin is pwede mag-stabilize siya at that level or pwede pang tumaas. Remember that she has a solid block pagdating sa Visayas and Mindanao. So things like this kasi makes the congressmen think twice, especially kung wala naman talagang enough incentives for them. Kasi nung last year, nung 19 Congress, they really wanted to support and gravitate around Martin Romualdez because Martin Romualdez had all the intentions and plans of running for 2028.
Correct. Opo.
Okay, so pero ngayon na nawala na siya sa picture at kung hahabol man siya, medyo malabo na yung chance niya to actually win, I believe. So yung mga ganitong itong mga dynamics kasi na to ang nagpapatamlay doon sa insentibo para pumirma sila sa impeachment. And right now, I think I'm talking to several congressmen. Actually, mukhang hindi ganoon ka-decisive yung Kongreso ngayon as compared last year with regards to this impeachment.
Or baka naman po pagod na sila o pagod na po ang publiko sa impeachment.
Actually, that's a very good point. I think we're having this impeachment fatigue, and whenever we have impeachment complaints like this being lodged left and right, it creates a sense really of political turmoil, of political instability in the country. And syempre, para sa ating mga taong bayan, hindi maganda ang mga senyales na ipinapakita nito. No? Ibig sabihin, we are too much drowned in the political noise, and in the process, napapabayaan o na hindi nabibigyan ng tamang pagkilala o pansin yung mga polisiya na dapat ginagawa ng Kongreso, yung mga reforma na dapat na isusulong, yung mga programa na dapat na ibibigay sa tao, nawawala yun no? And so because of that, the people are getting a little bit sick and tired already of this repeated impeachment complaints that's happening na in the process, like I said, nawawala yung public service delivery na kailangan ng ating mga kababayan.
Opo, which also might affect the economy at saka yung foreign investment.
Exactly. Kasi whenever there is an impeachment complaint, lalong-lalo na kung ito, dalawa sa pinakamataas ng mga official natin ang may impeach, it sends a not very strong signal about our political situation. And of course, alam naman natin sa political economy kung saan ang takbo ng politika, may sunod lagi ang ekonomiya. No? So, mag-aaring magkaroon ng lack of investor confidence, which we're actually having right now, and maaaring magkaroon ng capital flight na tinatawag kasi they could easily remove their equities and their businesses in the country and move it elsewhere where they feel it's more secured because of a better political climate. So anything and anytime na meron tayong mga ganitong klase ng mga impeachment complaints, whether or not mag-prosper siya, meron talagang epekto yan sa economic stability ng ating bansa.
Opo, and with that, Dr. Froilan Calilong, maraming
Salamat
salamat po, sir.
Maraming pasalamat. Mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you po sa pagpapaunlak sa RMN DZXL. Si Dr. Froilan Calilong, isa pong profesor, isa pong academician at political analyst. Director po